Expressions in After Effects can feel like you're trying to learn a second language just to move a layer. But you don't need to have a degree in computer science just to build better rigs. In this series, we're breaking down expression controls, those simple sliders and checkboxes that turn a messy timeline into a professional workflow. Let's get into it. In this video in this series, we're going to cover the angle expression control. The angle expression control is used to, you want to use the angle expression control when you want to control rotation. And so to demonstrate how that works, we're going to build this clock rig that you can use anytime you need a clock. All right, let's go over the basic setup here. I've got your background, I've got the clock face, or the minute and second degrees. And then I've got two layers for each hand. I've got a center, which is the circle in the middle, and then I've got the hand itself. So I've got the second center, the second hand, the minute center, and the minute hand, and the hour center, and the hour hand. And then within each one of those, I've parented the hand to the center. So what we're going to do is open up this the rotation property for the center on each of the three groups. And then, as we talked about in the first video, at times it makes more sense to have a controls layer when you're controlling multiple things from one expression control. So we wouldn't want to put the angle control right on each individual hand, because then we'd have to control each one separately. Instead, if we have a controls layer, we can just control the clock with one single control. So all I've done is added a null and called it controls. If we click on that and come up to the effect controls, you'll see it's currently empty, but we're going to pin it because by using the lock button here, because we're going to want to be able to see it no matter what layer we're clicking on. So what we want to do is add an angle control to that layer. So if we come to our effects panel and search for angle, and you'll see the angle control, we want to drag that right onto this controls layer. Then we are going to Option or Alt click on all three of the rotation properties to set expressions for them. And then the rest is pretty easy. We're going to first come to the hour center, and we're going to pick whip up to the angle control. And that one we're just going to leave alone. Then for the minutes, since there's 60 minutes in every hour, we're going to pick whip that one up to the angle control. But then we're going to add a times 60 to the end of it. And then for the seconds, we're going to, again, pick whip up to the angle control, and we're going to do 60, or times 60 for the minutes, and then another times 60 for the seconds. Now, if we just spin the angle control to whatever hour we want, you'll see the clock rotates appropriately. You'll notice that the second hand isn't really moving and the minute hand seems a little bit crazy. And that's because the angle control, when you just grab it and move it, is just using full degrees. So 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degrees. Basically, the basic math here is every 30 degrees is about 1 hour, or is 1 hour. Every 0.1 degrees is 1 minute. So if you wanted just 1 minute, you could come, or you could enter 0.1 and it would be 1 minute. If you wanted 1 hour and 5 minutes, then you could enter 30.5. Let's actually add 2 hours and 5 minutes so that the hands aren't on top of each other. So that would be 60.5. And then the seconds hand is a lot harder to get specifically where you want it, just because of the nature of this control not allowing a decimal quite as low as is required. But for reference, every 0.05 degrees is 30 seconds. So we can animate this. If we come to the very beginning and we set this, set the angle control to 0 and add a keyframe. And then if we come to the end of our 30-second comp and we know that 0.05 is 30 seconds, we set the keyframe there to 0.05. And now if we come to the beginning of our timeline and play it, you'll see that the second hand does start to move in 1 second increments in real time. So that is the clock rig setup. Feel free to create this on your own, or I will drop a link to the file in the description if you want to just grab it and use it without having to recreate it. Do be careful though, these vectors are provided by vecteezy.com, and you do need to leave an attribution because this is a free license. So if you use this, you need to attribute vecteezy.com. Just check the description for how I've done it and do the same thing. If that tip just saved you an hour of manual keyframing, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future content. It really helps the channel as we grow. Thanks for watching, stay creative, and let's go make some motion.